Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the field of physical therapy, a little bit more in depth about why I quit and some of the comments people left. Some people were really excited for me. I received a lot of positivity and I appreciate that. People were happy for me that I transitioned careers. And there were some people that that were kind of like, dude, the career is going straight to trash. If anybody wants to be a PTA, I would highly suggest not going into this field. And there was like strongly opinionated people, and I'm not like that. I think you can have a great career in the field of physical therapy. So I just kind of wanted to talk about some of these things in just a laid back setting. I'm at my house. I'm just chilling on my patio. It's a nice day outside. And so I thought I'd record a video and talk to you. There's no fancy editing or creativity. I just wanted to have a conversation. So let me just address some of those things about like people feeling that like negativity towards the field. I think a lot of times PTs or PTAs alike, one of the reasons why they get frustrated in the career, it usually comes out to two things of what I see. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. I know everybody has their own take on the subject. I just want to share some of my thoughts. One of the reasons why I feel like people get frustrated in the career is because they are possibly working for a franchise or like a corporation. And a lot of times franchises or corporations, they strongly care about the financials. And this can be really frustrating as a PTA because it can sometimes lead to burnout. It can lead to you not feeling comfortable seeing this many patients. You have a huge caseload, and that stuff can just wear on you as a PTA. If you're in this field for like 7 years and you have patients back to back to back to back, that can just burn you out. And not necessarily the patient care. That's not the hard part, at least for me. I could like literally treat patients all day. That's not a problem. The thing that tires me out is when I have 2 patients, I provide treatment, I'm bouncing back and forth. That's fun for me. And then those 2 people leave and 2 new people show up, but I still have to write the notes for the last 2 people that came in. But now I'm already working with 2 new people. And then there's one in the waiting room ready to be seen next. And so you can start to get in this cycle where you're seeing patients all day, but you don't have a lot of time to write notes. And so in your small breaks, you're on lunch, you're trying to hurry up and quickly write notes. And that can just be exhausting after a while. But one of the reasons it can be like that is because a company wants to make money and they want to profit. So the more visits they get in and the less staff that they have for a clinic, then the more profitable they can be. And this can lead to people getting frustrated in the career because they feel like, oh, I'm just working, but you don't necessarily think the company has your best interest in mind, or even the patients, because sometimes there's like a time where I want to spend a little more time with one person and do like manual therapy for a while, but I might need to cut that short because I have another person here that needs assistance because they can't walk well, and so I don't trust them. I need to put a gait belt on them, and this is where it can lead to like that frustration, I guess. Another area that I think people get frustrated in is dealing with insurance companies. A lot of times, I know this isn't right and it shouldn't be like this, but a lot of times I feel like insurance companies dictate care. And not like forthcoming and like, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. It's not straightforward like that, but a lot of times insurance companies won't reimburse certain treatments. They won't reimburse a certain amount. They're always fighting to not have to pay out. Like, it's crazy how many times an insurance company is like, no, we're not going to pay that, or trying to negotiate the bill. Like, that's such an odd concept to me. I've never like bought anything like a new t-shirt and be like, hey, I need to speak to the manager. This t-shirt should not be this price. Like, that sounds kind of crazy to me, but it happens all the time in the world of physical therapy. Like, insurance companies do not want to pay out for things, and that's just the bottom line. But the sad thing about it is this can sometimes dictate care. And I think this is what frustrates physical therapists, because we want to provide the best care we can, but we're just trying to work through and fight insurance companies all day, and that is just not fun. Now, you have some people out there who only do cash-based physical therapy. If you've ever heard of like Aaron LeBauer, where he runs strictly like a cash-based practice, and that's great. I think that's awesome. Cut out the insurance company altogether. That way you don't have to deal with it. People pay you cash and you provide service, and that's all there is to it. I think that's an awesome opportunity. However, this doesn't work necessarily for everybody. So if you're on a low income, if you're on like Medicaid, you might not be able to afford paying out of pocket to receive care. you might just not have the finances. Or for example, if you're on Medicare and you're over a certain age, you might just be living off your pension or Social Security. You might be living on a fixed amount. So you might not have extra funds to go towards this total knee replacement to be able to get care, the proper care that you want. And so you're dictated by what the insurance company is willing to pay. So this is what can be frustrating a lot of times as a PTA or as a PT, because we just care about providing care. We don't care like the reimbursement thing, but a lot of times that dictates and it influences what is happening in physical therapy. So this can get a lot of people frustrated, especially with the new reimbursement rates. PTAs don't get paid as much as they used to for seeing certain patients. This can be a big problem because it puts the company in a pinch, because now they're saying, I don't know if I should hire a PTA. Maybe I could get by with a few techs and some therapists, but I don't necessarily want to pay out all this stuff. So that's where a lot of these frustrations, at least in my experience, I've seen come from, are those two examples. And there could be other things, other issues people had, but those are the main things I see. Like if I didn't have to write notes all day and I just got to provide care, quality care that I wanted to do to treat patients, I didn't have to worry about reimbursements from insurance companies, then like life would be great, sunshine and roses. But it's not always like that. So I think that's where people get frustrated at in the career. Speaking from my opinion of why I left the career, it really wasn't even for those reasons. I didn't mind it that enough to quit. What made me kind of transition careers was more so financially. I was looking for growth and opportunity, and I just felt like there was other ways to do that and other ways that I could help people. Like it doesn't have to be strictly physical therapy. There's a lot of ways that you can use your talents and skills to provide care or help for people that doesn't necessarily look like physical therapy one-on-one with patients all day. So for me, that's why I transitioned. But I don't want you to think that just because I transitioned careers means the field of physical therapy is just dead now. It's like not a viable option. Because when I worked in physical therapy and I created all those videos, a lot of people would reach out to me and say, oh, I'm an accountant, or I work a desk job and I really want to become a PTA. So there's people that really want to become a PTA and want to work in the career. And then there's people who are in the career that want to transition out of it. I don't know. You just see both sides of it, I guess. It's getting really bright out. I hope. I don't even care. You can, like, if I get completely whitewashed out and I'm just like a blur, then just listen to this like it's a podcast, I guess. Anyways, that's the like downfall or the negative sides, at least as far as what I've seen in the career go. I never really despise the field, and I really do still think there's opportunity. I think what the opportunity looks like in the career of physical therapy is kind of changing though. So I have worked mainly in outpatient physical therapy a lot of my career, but there is a huge still need for home health care. That became huge during the pandemic. A lot of people didn't want to go out necessarily to hospitals, to clinics, and all this stuff. So home health care, or not even that, but like mobile PT, so like physical therapy mobile, where they would just come to you. Not necessarily that you need to receive home care, but just that they're still going to provide physical therapy to you, but just in a home environment. The field kind of shifted in those regards, but to me, I still think there's always going to be people needing care. So when you work in the field of physical therapy, it's not like other careers where it's like, hey, we're going to be closed for all of Christmas, the New Year, we're just shutting down shop for a while, giving everyone a break. Like, it doesn't work like that in the healthcare field, because there's still people who get in car accidents, who need rehabilitation services, and so you can't just necessarily shut down and say, you'll be fine for 3 weeks while I'm on vacation, we'll come back and see how that total knee replacement went. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, those people need care, immediate care, to see better results. So you're just kind of gonna have to push through on some of those things. When you're working in an outpatient clinic, you do have a little bit more flexibility where you can take holidays off and stuff, because it's not as dire of a need at that exact moment. But if you work in a skilled nursing facility, if you work in a hospital, there's a lot of times where you're needed during that time, like a holiday season or any time. It's just it's a service that people still get sick and still need hospitals. So that's one of the reasons why I think the field of physical therapy will stick around. What I feel like could potentially happen, or what I would actually love to see happen, is more private practices open up. more people wanting to open up their own physical therapy clinics, kind of like how chiropractors do it, where like I know so many people who run their own chiropractor clinic. They've started it on their own. I would love to see that in physical therapy, where you don't have these huge franchises dictating care. You don't have, insurance companies influencing care as much, but more so seeing individuals like physical therapists and PTAs open up their own clinics and be able to provide care that way. I just think care would look better overall. So that's something that I would hope to see. But yeah, so those are some of my thoughts about it. So that's all I wanted to share. I wanted to address some of those things that people have been commenting and talking about, and I just wanted to share more of my thoughts about it in kind of a laid-back setting. And I also want to record another video about what I think now, being out of the career for 2 years, and I look back, like I want to do a comparison of like my life now versus my life as a PTA. So stay tuned for that one, or just watch it on the channel if it's up. All right, guys, have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye. It sounded like I'm hanging up a phone call. What in the world?